movements. You're saying that's okay, or that's trendy. Well, I'm not your fucking trend. This skin of mine is my whole life. You're saying that a little bit of blackness is okay, but more than that, that's no longer the cute kid you were thinking of. This being so harmful to dark-skinned black people who get called ugly for their black skin all the time. Also, you can't necessarily control how black your child may be, because your child may turn out much more black or dark-skinned than you was expecting, with thicker hair than you were expecting, and what do you do then? Then your child receives intensified racism, and you don't know how to support them or look after their hair. You see how fucked up it is? Me being closer to whiteness gives me so much privilege. It means I receive less racism and abuse. It also means I'm more likely to be represented in adverts or media than my black peers, even if I'm still merely being represented because of tokenism. It may even mean I'm more likely to be successful than my darker skinned peers just because I'm closer to whiteness. You see how fucked up that is? And by the way, even being black doesn't mean we don't hold racist or colorist beliefs, because so many of us have been brought up with them from the white supremacist system we have been brought up under. A big part being because our education system is fucked up. And I mean in every area. Like, you don't learn that sexual harassment may be intensified because of your blackness. We don't get to see our black ancestors idolized for being kings and queens and chiefs in their own country. Instead, we are only taught about when black people were slaves. And Britain loved to glorify themselves by not telling us how Britain were involved. Funny, I never learned about colonialism in school. Funny, I was made to think of Malcolm X as more like a dangerous terrorist than an activist because he used violence. Whilst you're teaching me all about these white men wars where what did they use to win? Don't believe that would have been silence. And I was only ever told that Winston Churchill was a hero. And I really ain't hearing about many black authors in school, black scientists, black musicians, and no, I don't just mean in Black History Month. And yeah, there's some stuff, but it's not enough. And so much of this isn't the curriculum they have to teach us. And it starts from primary school, nursery, where I had to learn to be okay with drawing myself. It was so exciting if there was a teacher that looked somewhat like me, or I found a book where I could be the fairy tale queen. So just to finish off, I'm going to quickly read a poem that I wrote a few weeks ago called So Much More. So I hope you can take away something from this. I am black, mixed race. To see some of the world wake up, well, that's just great. But why didn't you wake up years ago? Why did it have to take this for you to open your eyes, for you to see another black man die on social media? Is this just going to be a trend on social media? Will you just read your stuff and then move on? Do your part until you find it's getting long? Because I tell you, there is still so much more to be learned. We just started with the most obvious one in your eyes, the one where police are taking black lives. We haven't even talked about our flawed education system. We've only touched on prisons and employment divisions and sexual harassment of black and mixed women. And what about colorism? The daughter of racism. It's the bias that you can deal with me. I'm interesting, a little exotically skilled. But white friends say, well, you're basically white, but they love to show they have a non-white friend. And then I still get racial bullying and I'm left to fight as they stand back and watch, their jaw clenched tight. As you see me on my knees, you stand there grasping onto your white fragility. Colorism is to my dark-skinned brothers and sisters who they still don't want to show in the media. They're too black, not pretty enough, not interesting, they're intimidating, but you don't might want to be on your TV as your tip box for diversity because you might listen to me. As my blackness isn't too much, just enough. But the blackness that I have, you sexualize, you conceptualize, and you fetishize. I'm just that mixed chick. And even all of you with your racist insides, all of you who like to appropriate, you now want your mixed kids. Because I think the problem is that you don't even realize your bias is ingrained so deep inside, how Eurocentric features are what you call pretty, but throw in a bit of black culture, that's alright. Steal our bums and our lips and our hairstyles, fly on your tanning beds, but not too dark, still want to look light. When you do it, it's cultural or edgy. When we do it, it's unprofessional or messy. So what I'm saying is that this is only the wake-up call. So you better stay tuned for hopes and prayers are not enough. This fight may be long and tough, but I tell you we're sick of life's ride being so rough. So will you continue to show up? In every space, will you fight with us? This isn't new news, we've got a long history of systemic oppression to undo. Because I'm telling you, there's so much more to do. Thank you.
Yeah, give it up, wasn't she amazing? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a very privileged white man, and I understand that I will never understand. Ever. I don't live in a black body. I don't understand the microaggressions that take place on a daily basis. But just like all the other white people sitting here today, I believe in equality. I believe in justice for Yemen. I believe that Black Lives Matter because I'm a human being with empathy. Now listen, I want to talk about something very specific, and it's called money. Because it's all about the money. What's it all about? And it always has been. Look, from Extinction Rebellion
so not Black Lives
to Black Lives Matter, it's clear that there are big questions lying at the core of our economic systems, the heart of the system. Ignoring them is like ignoring the big elephant in the room, because that is what terrifies the elites, is understanding, education of the basic realities of the economic systems that sees migrant workers in Dubai have their passports taken away from them and live in modern slavery. It's what fed the slave ships as they came across from Portugal and Britain to the United States of America, because slavery was free labor. It was agriculture in the south, and it was garment work in the north, because it's all about it's all about That's right. Quarterly return is the god that capitalism continually worships at. The realities are, as Extinction Rebellion well put it, that the profit motive means that you can never have infinite growth on a finite planet. And the realities are that within the next 6 months we may well have 50% unemployment in the United Kingdom. And when that happens, you're going to see huge social change. The realities are that whether it be Keir Starmer's Labour Party or Boris Johnson's Conservative Party, the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Mail, the Daily Express, they will never be on our side. They will never listen to us. They will never do anything than serve the people that put money in their pockets, because it's all about the reason that BAE Systems can take a contract from the Saudi Arabian government for £1.24 billion to spend on bombs that rain down on the Yemen, even though Saudi Arabia is one of the 10 countries on Britain's own human rights watch list, is because it's all about This is the reality of the system, my friends. This is the reality of the system. Now, some parts of the Black Lives Matter movement in the UK, which is not homogenous, which is made out of abolitionist frameworks that want to get rid of the whole system, and pragmatists who quite rightly say implement the recommendations, is that some people seem to think if you ask Boris Johnson nicely, he'll suddenly get on our side. But do you know what Boris Johnson thinks? He's all about that. He's all about that. The reality is, without boots on the ground, without people coming back again and again every weekend, standing up for social justice, nothing will change. Nothing. So, thank you so much for coming out today. What incredible speakers we've had, right? What about that girl who just spoke before? Unbelievable. Thank you for coming out. Please follow All Black Lives UK. And can I just say, before she speaks, this young lady started it all. Give it up for Natasha, please. Yeah.
Black lives! 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 Black lives!
Marijuana for personal possession. So the police are not very good at detecting drugs of the standard that would be intent to supply. But yet, what they want to do is criminalize a lot of our young people because they smell weed or they have weed for their personal possession. They tell you that stop and search is very good for detecting knives and guns off our streets. Well, if it's so good for getting knives and guns off our street, why is it less than 2% of the stop and search each month is for weapons? Do you understand? Less than 2%. You hear what I'm saying? I am a mentor. I take 8, 9 knives a time each month by myself off the street by talking to the young people and help them to change their mindset. Now the reason I'm here is to let people know that we have rights around stop and search. And if you are coming to a march without knowing what your rights are, you could end up to what happened to my son and my nephew. A couple of weeks ago, just outside Boris' house, my son got a broken wrist by the hands of the brutal police. My nephew got hit with a baton in the head, needing 3 stitches. But you know what? He's so traumatized that last night he went and tried to attack 30 police by himself. He didn't do very well. He actually got tasered and he got arrested. So I'm here to try to stop any young people from going down that line. You need to know what your rights are. I've got these cards. If we can get your details, we can send you something online so that you know what your rights are. I don't want confrontation. I want peace. We need peace. We need the police. We need a police service for honorary. We don't...
Look over there!
Whoa, the horses. We need... Listen. The last time I saw the horses is when they weaponized the horses outside Boris' house and they charged into thousands of innocent people. That's what riled the people up. You've got to know your rights about kettling. Do not come to a protest and do not know what kettling is. That simply means that the police will put you into smaller spaces and could keep you there for many hours. Then they let you out one at a time and they will ask for your personal details. You do not have to give your personal details even though they may ask you. If they stop and search you, you do not give your details over. If you do, it's kept on the register for 7 years. So if you get stopped and searched a second time, then it will come up and say, known. Known for what? Then it heightens the police suspicion. You've got to understand that we are 9 times more likely to be stopped and searched, but less likely to be found with weapons or drugs as a black man. Do you understand? I'm an elder. My son suffered the same thing I'm suffering. His grandson suffered the same thing around stop and search. 3 generations. Enough is enough. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. All Black Lives Matter. And this goes to the bad man then. Who's going to be the first to put down your knife and put down your gun and look at your brother and say, you know what? I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. All lives matter. Thank you.
I am unable to comprehend why in today's society we still have to use a hashtag to raise awareness on certain issues. The world should be at a point in time where everyone overlooks race, where one's colour of skin does not come first, but the character and persona of the individual is the priority. We're not in the 16, 17 or 1800s when slavery was the normality and killing those of the black race was the standard action of a white man. We are in 2020 and we have recently received the news of a black man who was out jogging, being hunted and killed like an animal by 2 Caucasian males. Unfortunately, that is what black people are to some, merely animals that need to be dealt with. In addition to the murder, the suspects had only been charged 2 months after the murder took place. The police did not arrest the suspects because they saw the tape of the murder being committed. They arrested them because the world saw the tape. 2 profound different reasons. As a black girl in today's society, I'm eternally grateful that I live in a culturally diverse area and attend a diverse school. I'm grateful that I do not have to constantly look over my shoulder to see if I'm being racially scrutinized. However, that does not mean that any person of color has not received a form of racism. Britain is not innocent. Just like the United States, there have been multifarious cases of racially provoked attacks, murders, assaults. The phrase, "I'm so happy to live in the UK and not America," holds so much ignorance, is beyond me. To ethnic minority parents, how do you explain to a child that they can't stay out late because they can get arrested just for walking? How do you explain to a child that they will never be able to have what their white friends have? How do you tell a child anything about racism? To my white friends and family and to every white person here, use your privilege. Don't waste it. We ethnic minorities are tired of constantly seeing countless amounts of helpless, lifeless bodies and no justice. We ethnic minorities are tired of seeing influencers and celebrities saying racist remarks. We ethnic minorities are tired of being racially profiled in stores. We are tired of not fitting into the social norms and criteria of beauty. How many times have you heard, "You're pretty for a black girl," "Oh, I never knew you could look like that," "I never knew your hair could be so textured"? We ethnic minorities are tired of being killed. We ethnic minorities are tired of having to use hashtags to bring awareness to something that should be dealt with properly already. We ethnic minorities are tired of having to work 10 times harder than the next white person in line because jobs will most likely choose them over us. We ethnic minorities are tired, period.
Coming to speak to you all.
Well, the Yemenis okay with this.
Hi everyone. My name is Sakima.
Oh my word.
Fab to see the transphobes leaving now. I'm just joking.
Yeah, look.
I am black and I am trans. And I'm a dancer and a model, and I don't say activist because I believe everyone should be an activist. I believe that we should all be able in our own ways to use our voices and speak really loudly for what we believe in, right? I feel like we can all step out of ourselves, step over our egos, remove ourselves from fear, and share the message of love, really.
They all stood up, walked away, turning their backs.
Because that's what we're aiming for in all of this. When we're talking about like black trans lives mattering and black lives mattering and like stop killing people, and like it's just that we're far away from love as a society, and we're rooted in fear. That's what this is. That's what the government is. That's what slavery did. That's what the Bible tried to teach, is fear, that we should be scared. That we should be scared of judgment. That we should be scared that we're not good enough as we are. Right? And truly we all know deep down that as we are good enough. That we all have room to grow. But that's the point. That's the point of being here. That's the point of life. Is that journey of being the best person that you can be for yourself, so that you can be the best person you can be for everyone else. I was talking with my good sis on the phone earlier, Connor, and we were talking about this idea of self-assessment. So like, not self-assessment tax, not that bullshit thing that's paying off slavery 5 years ago or whatever. like self-assessing yourself, looking at yourself, looking at the things within yourself that you'd like to improve. This is the process of all of us learning about how to improve ourselves and improve the system, to completely change the system. And to completely change the system, we kind of have to completely change ourselves. I'm not saying that all of you have to transition in the way that I have, but transition your way of thinking, open your mind to different ways of thinking. Remove yourselves from fear and open the doorway for more love. Thank you all so much.